Well, good morning, guys. Todd Falcone here. Welcome to another blog post. What day is it today? It's March 24th, and I'm sure I'll post this one today. So, got up this morning, getting things done. Got a group of 8-teamers coming into my house for the weekend, and then taking off for a couple of weeks. And I'm sitting here, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this. We'll see here for a second, but I'm sitting here writing a whole bunch of checks and paying bills and stuff like that. And fortunately, I've got the money to be able to actually pay the bills. What a novel concept, right? And it got me thinking, because I remember a day when I couldn't pay my bills, and I would write, like I just wrote, this check right here is, it's not a big check. I mean, it's a check for $1,000, but it's paying off a credit card bill from the previous month in total. And there's another invoice right here for $5,800, and last week I got done writing about $50,000 in checks. That was a big check writing week, and that's not my point. My point is this. My point is, you guys are all, obviously, bills are coming in. You have monthly expenses. You're involved in a home-based business. And, I remember a time, and this is kind of a weird habit for me. Yeah, I still write my own checks. Yeah, I still sign my own checks. And I think I do so because there was a time in my life when I was just dead broke. And I would write the minimum monthly payments or skip a month if I could. And, life wasn't real good. And so now it's like when the bill comes in, the bill gets paid, and the bill gets paid in full. Like I get my automobile insurance deal, and it says we'll pay the once a month deal. I write the check, and I write that because I can. So the question is, how can you? And I was talking on my this last week on my A-Team call, and I found a really interesting quote about controlling your destiny. And really, you've heard me talk about, if you've been plugging into me for any period of time, that it's all about you. It's all about the choices that you make, the decisions that you make. You get to choose. And, you get to choose to get up in the morning to work your business. Like right now, I mean, it's a little late. It's 10 minutes to 9, but I've been going for about an hour. I was up till about 2 o'clock this morning. And, you get to choose to get up in the morning. You get to choose to read a book that's going to fulfill, a need that you have in terms of learning and growing. You get to choose to pick up the telephone and prospect or look at the telephone. You are ultimately in control of your destiny. And there's a quote that I found, and I had a friend of mine, and she was telling me that it was, I think, a biblical, it's certainly biblically referenced, but I read this quote, I found it on the internet, and I tore it apart during this A-Team call that I did, and it's just really interesting. Watch your thoughts, for they become words. Watch your words, for they become actions. Watch your actions, for they become habits. Watch your habits, for they become character. Watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. And if you think about that and you take that all apart, it begins with a thought. Your destiny begins with a thought. Just like in the book, and I don't know where it is on my bookshelf, so I'm not going to go look for it at the moment, but the book Think and Grow Rich, the first chapter of that book is Thoughts Are Things. And if you haven't read that book, my goodness, please go read it. It's one of the greatest success books ever written. The first chapter is Thoughts Are Things. What you think about, you bring about in your life. So if you're thinking certain thoughts, and you have to watch over them, it's kind of like your garden. You've got to be weeding the garden, watering, fertilizing, tending to your garden. And if we're talking about our mental garden here, if we're talking about our literal garden, you got to do that, because if you don't weed your garden, the weeds take over the garden. Well, you got to weed your mental garden. You want to be in control of your financial destiny, your destiny, period. You are in control of it. But it starts right here. It starts with the thought. What's controlling your thoughts? The thoughts become words. The words become actions. The actions then become habit. The habit becomes your character, and the character becomes your destiny. And then you can be in a position where, I know it's kind of silly, but to be able to write the check, what a novel concept, and to actually have the funds in the bank account where the checks will clear. And I know many people out there who are getting started in home business are trying to figure out how in the world to get out of mountains of debt and piles of debt. Well, it begins right here. It begins with the thought. What are you doing how are you feeding your brain? Are you feeding your brain with garbage? Are you hanging around with garbage people? What are you doing? And if you're thinking a bad thought, are you going, wait a minute, get that bad thought out of my mind and think differently? Because that's what it means when you talk about watching your thoughts. You got to watch over your thoughts, and that's a choice as well. You get to control your destiny. How powerful is that? Your destiny is in the palm of your hands. And there's another quote. I got to find it here so I don't mess it up here. This is actually by Anthony Robbins. It is in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. So every time you make a decision, that's when your destiny is shaped. Powerful stuff. You think about that, rewind this, listen to it again, listen to the quote again. I don't know, maybe I'll even put it down here in the text portion of my blog. But we'll see you on another blog post. This is Todd Falcone. Good morning. Hello. Happy day. We'll see you on another blog post. Thanks for watching.